Got to mention this just because you fought him. He's fighting this weekend. Khamzat Chimaev, Gilbert Burns. Just your thoughts on that fight. And I'll throw out one little interesting thing here as well, because, James Krause, I spoke to him this week, and he brought up a good point that Khamzat really hasn't been hit that much. Do you think that'll be a factor at all if Burns is able to get in on the inside?
I mean, Burns definitely has power, right? And if he gets on the inside, the end of Burns's reach and like where he's most powerful is going to be a little bit closer and different than where Khamzat is most powerful because he is a little bit lankier. But looking through Khamzat's career, and obviously I studied him a little bit because I fought him, and I'm not just saying this because I got starched, but like his stand-up is really good. He doesn't do anything super flashy, but he stays in position. He's really good about staying in his shell, keeping his head down, and throwing punches. And then when he gets swung at, he's good about either cutting off an angle or shooting in. And I don't know that it's going to be an easy fight for him. Theoretically, on paper, it should be one of the tougher ones, obviously, because Gilbert Burns does have that power. He does have that grappling prowess. But I don't think it's going to present, such a ridiculous problem on the feet like people would think it is, because I would think if I had to pick the two of them, I would say that like Burns has some really good striking and some good hands. I would think that Chimaev's probably the more well-rounded, striker if we're going to talk about like pure striking from what I've seen. And again, I could be proven wrong on Saturday, but that's just what I've seen so far. That's what I would think.
What do you also make of the fact that, Chimaev fought you, and like I said, you're a big guy. You could fight at 205, I think. Forget about the reach, just in general, like your size. And then Burns used to fight at 55. Like, how much of that will be a factor in terms of Khamzat being maybe a bit stronger, maybe a little bit bigger? Well, not maybe. He is a bit bigger than Burns.
Yeah, I think for sure that's going to play to his favor, especially on the ground, right? Because not only is he going to be the lankier guy and like bigger frame, but he's also, I would think, is going to be stronger. Now, I've never, worked with Gilbert Burns, and like obviously he's a powerhouse. But when you got somebody that's that much longer than you, and physically bigger and probably stronger, and on top of that, Burns is definitely more like his jiu-jitsu game for MMA is definitely kind of like wrestling based ish. So I think he'll be fine with that as far as scrambling with Chimaev. But the perfect antidote, if you're going to fight a guy that's like a really high-level jiu-jitsu guy, is you got to be good on the wrestling scrambles and not let them be able to get to your back and be able to like either get to their back or take them down and stay in guard and like neutralize all their stuff. And that's what I would think his advantage would be, is he's not necessarily shooting in to like, I got to complete this takedown in the sense that everyone thinks I got to get their butt to the mat or I got to jump the back. He's just trying to get connected to you and either get to your back or get you down and then kind of hover above you. And then as you're standing up, he's going to hang on to you, beat you up, and look for the neck. And I think that's going to play a big factor when you got a guy that much bigger dragging on you. But again, Chimaev's got to get a hold of him first before that happens. And, I don't think he's going to be able to keep Gilbert Burns in one spot as long as he's kept other guys in one spot. I think Gilbert will be able to scramble a lot, but I think there's going to be a couple exchanges where Chimaev kind of shoots and drags on him a little bit to get him tired so he can open up and punch, and then kind of go back and forth from that until he sees an opening one way or the other.
So what's the official Gerald Meerscahert prediction? How does this fight play out between Khamzat Chimaev, Gilbert Burns? I give you $500, not your money, it's my money. How does it go down?
I would think that Chimaev gets a decision win.
Interesting, because he doesn't go the distance. So I would think that if, just personally, I think if he wins, it would probably be a finish. I know it's only 3 rounds, but still.
Yeah, no. And that's another thing, too. We've seen Gilbert Burns get cracked before. And, sometimes, especially against longer guys, he'll pop his head up a little bit when he shouldn't. So Chimaev could definitely catch him. I think Gilbert Burns, just out of pride, isn't going to let himself get submitted. But, barring him making a mistake on the outside and getting caught with something, this is one that I could see going to a decision. I think it'll be a super exciting fight. I don't think either guy's going to like play the points game. But I think Burns is durable enough, and Khamzat is for sure durable enough that it'll probably go all 3 rounds.
Let's kick it off, jab, cross to the beat, beating you MMA, heat is the main course of the feast. Lynch on sports, the force, he's got his ears to the streets. Uppercutting with knowledge, shaking the brain with breakdowns of the game with that original flow. Head kicks with the pros, picks up the fights or anything in the mix.